Thank you. So, Bhagavata Pravaham. We are in Bhagavata Pravaham. Yeah. So, the whole Bhagavatam, we have seen the overview of Bhagavatam. Actually, in the overview of Bhagavatam, we have discussed something that is going to come in today's session. I'm going to refer the whole thing to that session, but still, a little part of that will come today. That'll be very nice. So we have discussed the whole Bhagavatam, and then the significance of Bhagavatam, and the whole Bhagavatam in 1 hour, right? Summary of Bhagavatam, and then first canto of Bhagavatam, second canto of Bhagavatam, and third canto of Bhagavatam. So we're in the third canto of Bhagavatam, and in third canto we have divided this right 5. First one is Uddhava, Vidura Samvada, and then Vidura Maitreya Samvada. After that, Lord Varaha's pastimes, and then Karada Muni, Devahuti Katha, and then Lord Kapila's instructions. 5 of them. We have heard the Uddhava Maitreya Samvada, Uddhava Vidura Samvada, and then we are now hearing Maitreya Vidura Samvada. In this Maitreya Vidura Samvada, we have divided this into, this starts from the 5th chapter, Maitreya and Vidura Samvada. And somebody, if you can please mute everybody, and also maybe we can turn off their video too, just in case if their finger goes on audio or video, the katha will not be disturbed. Is that okay? Harivan Prabhu, would you please? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so Maitreya and Vidura Samvada. In that, we have heard that 5th and 6th chapters, they give details about the primary creation that was already discussed in the 2nd canto. And the 7th chapter talks about few questions from Vidura. And these questions were very much similar to the questions asked by Sukadeva Goswami to by Parikshit Maharaj to Sukadeva Goswami. Okay. After this, 8th one is about the birth of Lord Brahma. Now that Brahma is born, he's going to offer prayers to Lord Narayana. That's Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu. So that will be the 9th chapter. After he offered the prayers, now, and after he sought blessings from the Lord, now he's going to get the Brahmanda ready. So the next chapter, the 10th chapter, would be about the 14 planetary systems, building of 14 planetary systems and different kinds of secondary creations, the 4 kinds of secondary creations that we have seen. That comes next, right? Now that the Brahmanda is ready, the time factor, this is what we're going to talk today. 11th chapter would be about the divisions of time. It's an interesting one. Divisions of time, 11th chapter. And now that the Brahmanda is there, the divisions of time are also described. The creation starts from the 12th chapter, starting with the creation of 4 Kumaras. Okay, so that is all 12th chapter. And it ends with creation of Swayambhu Manu and his wife. Will come to that very soon, but Swayambhu Manu comes there. Okay, and when Swayambhu Manu is created, he is asked to procreate and fill the whole Brahmanda. And then Brahma and Swayambhu Manu realize that the earth is in Garbhodaka ocean, and that needs to be picked up and brought to place so Swayambhu Manu can start to populate. That story, that is how a little bit about how Garbhodaka, earth is in Garbhodaka ocean, and Varaha Deva had to come and pick up the ocean and put it back in place. That a little bit of information is there in the 13th chapter. Yeah, and during that description, the question comes ki, why did Varaha Deva had to come as an incarnation? How about this Hiranyaksha? how come that Hiranyaksha was so evil? What was wrong with that pregnancy? So can you tell me something about, because in those days they used to do garbhadara, samskara centers, just to make sure that the pregnancy goes well and whoever is born is a good child, auspicious one. So they were wondering, how come this Hiranyaksha is so evil? What happened? What went wrong with the pregnancy of, his mother? Why was he like that? For that question, the 14th chapter comes that describes about the pregnancy of Diti. So these we are going to discuss today from 11th chapter to 14th chapter. So 11th chapter is about the divisions of time. Okay? And I think we can go to the PowerPoint now. Yeah, I'll take to the PowerPoint about the divisions of time. Share the screen. Divisions of all right. Good. We have it now. So this is the 11th chapter. Here we have something to contemplate at the end of the chapter. But the whole chapter is interesting facts for us. We have heard this before. We'll just go over it quickly again about the time factor. So here, Paramanu. Anu is atom, Paramanu. Molecule, atom, anyway. So Paramanu is that particle. If we take the matter and if we take that smallest particle of the matter where we cannot divide it further, that is called Paramanu. That's the smallest one. And the biggest part of the matter is the whole, that is Parama-Mahan. So the smallest one is called Paramanu and the biggest one is called Parama-Mahan. As the matter is divided like that, the smallest and the biggest, the time is also divided like that. The smallest part of the time, where a sun ray covers that smallest distance, that is called Paramanutam. Yeah? And the biggest chunk of time is called Parama-Mahan. This Parama-Mahan is what? From the start of the creation to the end of the, after the Brahma's lifetime, the end of the creation, where all the jivas go back to Mahavishnu. That is Parama-Mahan. That's the biggest chunk of time. The smallest one is Paramanutam. And after that, the divisions of time is given. The details are there in Srimad Bhagavata. Truti, if you have heard that, this word is very much used in Telugu. It's a Sanskrit word too, actually. That is the very closest to the smallest unit of time, Truti. And after that, Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha, that Lava. So like that, the time is divided. Starting from the smallest one, and then it gets a little bigger when those units are combined like that. So the details of that are there in Srimad Bhagavatam. We are just touching a little bit of that. Truti, Lava, Kshana, Muhta, like that. So there are different units. You may please check the Bhagavatam book. That's about the divisions of time. Details are there. And now coming to our time here. Like in Bhuloka, we have 1 year, right? So in 1 year, 6 months and 6 months. Our 6 months is equal to, in Swargaloka, we are in Bhuloka now, right? Above us is Bhuloka, Bhuvarloka, Suraloka, Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapoloka, Mahar, Jana, Tapoloka, and Brahmaloka. Those are the 4 topmost lokas, Mahar, Jana, Tapo, Brahmaloka. Okay. So the time here, 6 months of our time is equal to 1 day in Swargaloka or the Devatas. When sun is in the northern hemisphere for 6 months, Uttarayana, that is the daytime for the Devatas, our 6 months. When sun comes to Dakshinayana, that when it travels in the southern horizon, then that is Dakshinayana, and that 6 months is the night time for the Devatas up there. So January 13th, Sankranti, around that time, that is the start of the Uttarayana. That's when the Devatas also, their daytime start there in Swargaloka. So that is in regards to the time. Our 6 months is equal to their daytime. The other 6 months here is their night time until Swargaloka. Beyond that, Bhagavatam says, Maharjana, Tapo and Satyaloka, their daytime is 1000 Chaturyugas. Chaturyugas or Mahayugas, 4 yugas put together. Kruta Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Kali Yuga, all 4 yugas put together is called Chaturyuga or Mahayuga. So like that, 1000 Chaturyugas is 1 day time for them. And same 1000 Chaturyugas will be the night time. In all those lokas, not just the Brahma Loka, Maharjana, Tapo and Satya Lokas, that is the time scale for them. This reminds me, there was a katha in Lord Balaram's pastime. I don't recall the details, but one of the kings, he goes from here to the planet up there, and by the time he comes back, all the yugas change. A big chunk of time passes by because the time scale is different in these different layers of Brahmand. So that's about the time. Yeah, Bhuloka, Swargaloka, and the other 4 lokas we have discussed. Also, one point here is Dharma decreases 1/4 from Satya Yuga to Kali Yuga. When we say Dharma, it has Tapas, Saucham, Satyam, Daya, the 4 pillars of Dharma. All these 4 pillars, 4 qualities, they come down by 1/4 in each Yuga. Yeah. So in Kali Yuga, we have only 1/4 of all that left over of those 4 virtues. That's some information. And now coming to Manvantaras. I'm looking to see if I can take you to the other slide. Manvantaras. Yeah, I'll show you the other slide. This we can cover at that time. Manvantaras, Brahmas, creation, 7 sages, demigods. Okay, we'll cover that then. This also can be covered. Yeah, this piece of information here. This chapter is more like an informative one. Yeah. So Brahma Kalpa, the first day, by the way, Brahma has 100 years duration, right? So first half of his life, 50 years, and second 50 years. So these are divided into parardas, the first pararda and second pararda. So our current Brahma, Chaturmukha Brahma, has completed his first pararda, 50 years over. He's now 51 years. In the 51st year, we are in the first day. Yeah, so we are in second pararda of Brahma. So first day of first pararda of Brahma, that first day was called Brahma Kalpa. Kalpa means 1 day of Brahma. The Brahma's very first day was called Brahma Kalpa. And the second day where Brahma was born from Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, that was called Padma Kalpa. This makes us think, what? Is he not born from Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu on each day in the beginning of the day? That thought comes across, but this is just an informative one here. You can that's the information available as of now. And Varaha Kalpa is the first day of the second Pararda of Brahma, like, the 51st year, the first day. So we are in Varaha Kalpa. Jambudhipe, Bharatavarshe, Bharatakande, Meru, Dakshina Dibbage. There, in South Indian temples, the Pujari resides our GPS location in this Brahmanda. So in that Sveta Varaha Kalpe, so in that GPS recitation of the Pujari, these things come. Jambudvipe, Bharatavarshe, Bharatakande, Meroho, Dakshina Dibbage. And then there, somewhere the Varaha Kalpa also comes. So our Kalpa is Varaha Kalpa. Varaha Kalpa. So this Dvi Pararda time is only a nimisha of the Lord. This is the lifetime of Brahma, 2 Parardas put together. But these 2 Parardas is just like 1 nimisha of the Lord. Yeah, and we'll come to this slide. And before this, we wanted to know about Brahma. I'll show you something. This is more familiar for you, and it covers a lot of it. Are you able to see? Are you able to see this new slide, please? Life of Brahma. No?
No, Mother.
I'll stop sharing and then start sharing the new one. Yes. Yeah. So this one, we have already gone through this in the beginning, but it's very relevant now. So I thought we'll bring it up. Yeah. So we have talked about the time scale, right? On earthly planet, Svargaloka, and the 4 topmost planet. After that, now we are talking about the Kalpa of a Brahma. So 1 day of Brahma, if you see here, the life of 1 day of Brahma has 14 Manvantaras. Yeah. And let's take our Manvantara now. We said we are in the 51st year, the first day of Brahma, right? So this is where we are. 51st year of Brahma and his first day. And in his first day, as in any of his days, there are 14 Manvantaras. So in his current day, 6 Manvantaras have gone by. Now we are in 7th Manvantara. And the Manu of our Manvantara is Vivashvanaman, Vaivashvataman. Yeah. So this is 7th Manvantara. In 7th Manvantara, in each Manvantara, there are 71, almost 71 Divya Yugas. And we are in 28th Divya Yuga. 27 Divya Yugas have passed by. We are in 28th Divya Yuga. And in each Divya Yuga, as we said, there is, starts with Kruta, then Dwapara. Actually, after Kruta comes Dwapara and Treta and then Kali in general. But it is said that when Gauranga Mahaprabhu comes once in a daytime of Brahma, once in a Kalpa, then these yugas are switched. After Kali Yuga, as we have seen, Treta Yuga came and then Dwapara came. And after that, Kali Yuga is coming. There are reasons behind that, and that will take some time, but just for time being, we're just knowing that we are in the 28th Manvantara, or 28th Divya Yuga. So, in 28th Divya Yuga, we are in Kali Yuga. That's where we are right now. Okay. So that's that is our drop the pin, right? GPS location. That's where we are now, in Kali Yuga of the 28th Yuga. And the other piece of information is For each Divya Yuga, there will be a Veda Vyasa, a person who occupies the post of Vyasa. And our Veda Vyasa is Krishna Dvaipayana, that we have already discussed too, just FYI. So these were all the other Vyasas so far that we have had. In one Manvantara, there are 71 Divya Yugas, right? So in each of those were the Veda Vyasas. Okay, and that is about the Vyasa post in the Divya Yuga. If we come to Manvantara, here you see each Manu, right? Now we are in Vaivashvanam. Manu, our Manvantara is Vivashvan, right? Each Manvantara has one Manu, like in our case, Vaivashvan, right? And there will be a Lord's incarnation specific for that Manvantara. For us, for Vaivashvata Manu, Vaivashvata Manvantara, it's Vamana Deva. And there will be demigods also specific for that Manvantara. And there will be an Indra Deva. So Indra is also a post. And this post for our Manvantara is occupied by its Purandara, right? Yes, Purandara. He is the present Indra. Our present Indra is Purandara. Our present Manu is Vivashvan. Yeah. And so Indra and Indra has his set of demigods, and for the Manvantara incarnation, along with the Manvantara incarnation, there are 7 sages also that differ from each Manvantara. So the 5 things change for each Manvantara. The Manu, Indra, set of demigods, the Ishvara incarnation, the incarnation of that particular Manvantara, and the 7 sages. These 5, they change for every Manvantara. And we already discussed who are they for us, for our Manvantara. That's Vivashvan, Purandara, and Vamanadeva is the Manvantara incarnation, incarnation of the Lord in this specific Manvantara. That's the information. Yeah, I think we have this. And now I'm going to close this one and go back to the original one so we can close that chapter. This is more of an informative chapter. Yeah. So we have gone through this Padmakalpa, Brahmakalpa, Varahakalpa. Now the whole point is we have gone through the time scale, the Manvantaras and everything, right? So for us, our 6 months is just 1 day of the Devatas. And the upper planetary systems, their day is 1000 Divya Yugas. Right? That's just 1 day of them. And for Brahma, he lives for 2 Parardas. So Brahma's lifetime is, if 1 day is 1000 Chaturyugas, times double that will be his night. So that day and night, if that's the figure, please double it, please multiply it for 100 years. It's a big time math. Okay. I'm not very good at numbers, so I'll leave it to your calculation, but that's the lifespan of Brahma. If that is the lifespan of Brahma, how is it when compared to the Karnodaka Sai Vishnu, his Nimisha? So this, where are we when compared to the Devatas? Where are Devatas when compared to the higher planetary system beings like Brahmadeva? And where is Brahma when compared to the Karnodaksai Vishnu, Garbhodaksai and Karnodaksai Vishnu also. And where is Karnodaksai Vishnu, who is the incarnation of Mahasankarshana, who is an incarnation of Mula Sankarshana, who is from Balarama, who is from Krishna. So where are we fitting in here? Where are we and where is Lord Krishna? Do we clearly see how speck of a dust we are in this huge cosmic manifestation, including the spiritual one? Such a speck of dust. So clear, right? That is our position. Insignificant speck of dust. And when we are so insignificant, what is the mercy of the Lord that He decided to go with our desire and create Brahmanda and create all these, all these temporary illusory things so we can get some satisfaction? What is His mercy that He has chosen to go our way to fulfill our desire? And what is His mercy that the Lord who is up there is still accompanying insignificant dust particles like us? He's accompanying us, Paramatma, life after life, at all times, and is with us. And He is going to be with us, even though we are so insignificant, even though we wanted to come this far from Him, so we can think we are so independent from Him. Still, the mercy of the Lord is, He does not want to leave us. He wants to be on standby and is just waiting for us to turn towards Him as Paramatma. Yeah? So these facts, when these facts are laid in front of us, then we realize what our position is, what we have been doing, and how the Lord is really reciprocating with us. He is with us at all times. And that very same Lord who is with us as Paramatma and Krishna in the transcendental realm, He is in the Harinama. And He is waiting for us, just waiting for us to turn towards Him, to reciprocate with Him, to bond with Him. What is our fortune? What is the mercy of the Lord? What is our fortune? We are not imagining any of these things. We are just knowing the facts from Srimad Bhagavatam. And how is it that we are feeling when we are knowing all these facts about our position, about our attitude, and about the Lord's mercy? How abundance is that? How abundantly merciful is He? And the kind of feeling that we get when we know these facts, that is Dainya Bhava. That feeling like, I am so insignificant, so undeserving, my Lord. But look at your Kripa. You are so big. Still, you have become so very small just to be with me at all times as Paramatma. And you have become a Harinam, so you can be with me at all times, in any condition. So Hridam Sarva Bhutanam, sitting always in the heart, waiting for me. Yeah. So that is Dainya Bhava. No, and when we are hearing about Dainya Bhava, but when we start relishing this, we will feel the ecstasy of insignificance. We all know what it means to be puffed up, to be proud like that, right? That's a standing on the bubble. But when we understand, when we know these facts from Srimad Bhagavatam, when we hear these facts, contemplate on it, and the feeling that we get, that Dainya feeling, is the ecstasy of insignificance. This is where humility is generated from. So that's the beauty. That's the beauty. This is our precious gift from this 11th chapter. It was just an informative thing, but Srimad Bhagavatam, there is always a substance for us that can give relishment. So this is our relishment from the 11th chapter. And now going to the 12th chapter. 12th chapter is starting with the Visarga, secondary creation of Brahma. So I'll take you to the 12th chapter. This is also beautiful. Now we will say the Dainya Bhava in our heart. We will need that at all times. Now, coming to this about Brahma's secondary creation. See, Maitreya Muni is asking the questions. Vidura is asking the questions and Maitreya Muni is answering. And as he's answering to Mahatma Vidura, he says, okay, Brahma's creation. We have heard in our science and history classes about the human history, right? Darwin's theory of evolution and survival of fittest, industrial revolution, all that theories. We don't know what's happened, theories, hypothesis theories. But Srimad Bhagavatam is presenting the facts. This Kali Yuga brain may understand it or not, but the facts will not change. So what are those facts? These are the facts. This is how the creation has started, secondary creation. We have heard about the primary creation, now secondary creation. Secondary creation is that which is done by Brahma with whatever ingredients that were present before, given by Lord Vishnu. So first thing that Brahma creates were this. Anda Tamishram Mano Moham, Mahamoham and Tamas. This beautiful sloka. It's not here. But this is what has happened first. We have heard that 4 Kumaras came, right? Even before 4 Kumaras came, this is what happened to Brahma's creation. He started doing his service. He sought the blessings from Lord Narayana too. And this is what first happens when he starts doing. But he doesn't get discouraged though. What happens? He creates 5 layers of ignorance. And this is the influence that we all have within us. So let us see what those 5 layers are. First is tamas. Tamas is ignorance. Ignorance is here that Mamai Vamse Jiva Loke. Lord Krishna said, you are my part and parcel. That is knowledge. Ignorance is we are ignorant of our dependence on the Lord, that we have come from the Lord. Like sun ray is always dependent on the sun. But if sun ray is thinking, oh, I am not dependent on the sun, how ignorant is that sun ray? We are like that. So tamas is ignorant of one's original position as part and parcel, dependent on the Supreme. That is tamas. Okay. Because of that ignorance, then moham will come. Moham means I. Now I'm seeing myself. I don't want to see myself separate. When somebody sees them separate as from Krishna, not dependent on Krishna, then they are subjected to illusion. What does that mean? Illusion means aham mameti, I and mine. In fact, this I and mine is not there. The actual fact is everything is Krishna's. If we see through the glasses of knowledge, then everything is Krishna's. Because the ignorance is coming now, then Krishna is aside. Aham mameti, that I feeling comes. Everything is I-centered, not Krishna-centered anymore. Krishna is slowly out of picture here. Only Nam ke vaste, if there is one. I domination is there. That is Moham. I-centeredness is Moham. And everything that is belonging to this I is all mine, mine. My things, my people, my family, my neighborhood, my country, my this, my that, everything mine. My charity work, my good things, my bad, everything mine, contaminated. So that aham is moham, mameti, minus, that belongingness is mahamoham. Okay, now that belongingness is there, see if this is belonging to me, and if I don't have this, if I don't find this, I get very agitated because I'm very attached to it. And if it's broken, then I am upset because that attachment is there. That attachment to a thing or a person, that is on the tamishram, tamas moham, tamishram, yeah. So that attachment to a thing, because of that belonging feeling, is called tamishram. Raga, dvesha. If because of that attachment gives raga, and for some reason, if we don't get that object or person, then we have dvesha. We are upset. Okay, so that is tamishram, that attachment. Andata tamishram is whatever attachment we may have to the people around, to the things around. All of us have to leave behind when the death comes. That death is andatamishram. So tamas is ignorance of one's own identity. Moham is I-centeredness. Mahamoham is belongingness. Tamishram is attachment. And the tamishram is death, which is causing forceful detachment of our things. So these are the 5 functions of the ignorance. Brahma ended up creating these first, even before something good came up. And he was really not happy with that. He feels sorrow. Oh, what did I do? I started doing my service and this came out. So he feels sorry. And then he has to, he starts again meditating on the Lord and recites some prayers. And then the 4 Kumaras. When he is contemplating and reciting the prayers to Lord Vishnu, then these 4 Kumaras came out of him. Okay, and then Brahma asks all these 4 Kumaras to please, now you please grow, get bigger, start procreate, and fill the whole Brahmanda with population. These 4 Kumaras, they are Brahmajnanis. They said, no, so sorry. Our father, dear father, so sorry to upset you. We don't mean to disobey you, but no, we are very much attached to this Brahmananda. We cannot really get into this procreation business. So Brahma did not expect that. And he was a little angry, upset about, with that response from the 4 Kumaras. So from his anger came out a personality, Rudra. Rudra means to cry. As Rudra came out from the anger of Brahma, he started crying. That's why he's called Rudra. Rodayati means to cry. That's why he's called Rudra. And Rudra was crying and he's saying, okay, now I please give me a place to stay. And then gave 11 places to stay for this Rudra. And the Shakti of this Rudra is Rudrani. So in these 11 places, Rudra resided with Rudrani. But Rudra is ferocious. So their progeny ended up creating more problems to Brahma than any good. So Brahma said, oh, Rudra, now please pacify. Now you don't have to do any procreation. Just please go to the forest and do the tapasya. That's what Brahma asks Rudra. So he ends up going to the forest and doing tapasya. Now Brahma thinks, these 4 Kumaras, they did not want to procreate. And Rudra, their progeny ended up being more destructive. And next he tries, he creates 10 sons. All of them are born either from the body of Brahma or mind. From deliberation came Narada. From Brahma's hand came Kratu. From Brahma's thumb came Daksha, like that. And from his shadow came Kardamanu, like that. So like that, 10 sons were born from Brahma, but they were not enough to procreate the whole Brahmanda. They were not sufficient enough. And by this time, Brahma was giving rise to the lust, anger, greed, all these things. Yeah. So after these 10 sons were born, there was a daughter there was a female that originated from Brahma. And by this time, Brahma, remember, all the lust, anger, greed, they were also coming out from Brahma. And Brahma ended up getting attracted to this female that is born out of him. Is called as daughter of Brahma, Vak. And that was so obnoxious that Brahma was attracted to his own daughter. Then these 10 sons that took birth from Brahma, what did they do? They saw this situation. They didn't expect this. They are like, oh, dear father, please, this does not befit you. And this was never seen before, and it will not be done in the future too. And you don't want anybody to follow your footsteps. So kindly, please, come to your senses. This doesn't befit you. So they start requesting Brahma like that. And that also did not bring Brahma to his senses. So these 10 sons, they ended up praying to Lord Vishnu to please come rescue, do something about this situation, this unfortunate, obnoxious situation. So after they started praying, then somehow Brahma got to his senses, and then he felt so bad about him, he just gave up his mental body. In other words, that kind of obnoxious thinking. He was very ashamed of his act. So here, something to learn in the sense, Brahma is the secondary creator of this whole Brahmanda. And look at his paristhiti. Even he was affected by lust in such an inappropriate way. The effect of Mahamaya in this Brahmanda. This is why Shastra says, even if somebody is practicing spirituality or sages, they are warned to maintain distance from opposite gender. Actually, Shastra says maintain distance from your own daughter too. That's what Shastra says. See what happened to Brahma like that. So this is a warning of how influencing Mahamaya can get to. This is a warning from Shastra. Okay, that's one thing. To be cautious about the opposite gender at all times. And what did the 10 sons of Brahma do? They did not disrespect their father and just yell at him, curse him, put down and disrespect him. They really pleaded, requested, and they ended up doing the prayers to Lord Vishnu. So in this way, they did not do any aparadha to their father. But the sons of Marichi, they laughed at Brahma, disrespected Brahma for the behavior, for the unwanted, obnoxious behavior, of course, that Brahma had. But the Marichi's sons laughed at Brahma. What happened to them? They were cursed to be born into the womb of Mother Devaki, and that's how all those babies were killed by Kamsa. at the very beginning. They were the sons of Marichi, and they ended up having that fate to be killed in the hands of Kamsa because of the aparadha that they have done to Brahma. No doubt, Brahma's aparadha is so great. It was a great aparadha, but the behavior of those 10 sons and the behavior of sons of Marichi, they are different. So something to think about. If somebody is in that shoe, what to be cautious about. And if somebody is on this end, if they seeing something, an aparadha done by somebody, then how would they bring it to their attention? If it's a Vaishnava, Brahma is also a Vaishnava. He is a Sakama Bhakta, right? So the life lesson is, of course, to be very cautious about the opposite gender. And the second one is, if we are seeing something not right in anyone, then we can bring it to their attention for their good, or to the authorities. But we cannot really disrespect them and make fun of them publicly. That's no good, right? So that's something that we can learn from here. Anyway, so that has happened, and Brahma felt very much ashamed. He gave up that mentality. That mentality dissipated as fog, and he is doing his service back again. Look at the determination of this Brahmadeva. He's not stopping his service in spite of all these hurdles. And then after this, he gave birth to 4 Vedas. He recited them, and then all these things, Vedic meters, verses, writing, audible sounds, Karma Tantram, Panchama Veda, that is Puranas, everything was coming out of him. Can you imagine? After that obnoxious act, still all these wonderful things are coming because he repented and he discarded that mentality, right? All of us would be, we are all Baddha Jivas. At some point of time, aparadhas will happen by us also. Then if we repent, just discard that mentality and then we move on. Brahmadeva is nicely showing that example here. Move on. If the mistakes happen, yes, repent, discard that mentality, and then move on with the service. And all these beautiful things are coming out from Brahma. And at last, he looks at everything that he has created, and the 10 sons were also insufficient to fill the whole Brahmanda. Then he thought, I should really create a couple from me. And then the Priyavrata, Swayambhumana and his queen Satarupa, they came simultaneously from Brahma. Swayambhumana and Satarupa as a couple. Just because they came from Brahma, they are not siblings. Here, they came out as couple. And so this couple, they united and gave birth to 5 children. Priyavrata, Uttanapada. These are the 2 sons. Dhruva belongs to Uttanapada dynasty. We'll know more about Priyavrata in the next chapter, in the next canto. And the 3 daughters are Akuti, Devahuti, Prasuti. We will be knowing soon about Devahuti. Devahuti and Kardama Munikada, that will be coming in the 3rd canto. So that's Devahuti. And Akuti and Prasuti. So these are 5 children from Swayambhumanu and Satarupa. This is how this is 12th chapter ends. So in this 12th chapter, we have heard that all these 5 layers of ignorance come. And here a life lesson for us is, our software really is so corrupted, right? Viral infection, of our software. In us, this is the hardware that we are seeing, Bhumi Rapo Ranalo Vayu, the physical body. These 5 softwares are there and they're all corrupted. Virus hai. So antiviral kahan se leke aana hai? Where should we bring this antiviral program? To come out of the stomachs which is giving moham, the I-ness, and the I-ness is giving to minus, belongingness. And when something is belonging to me, I get so attached and upset if I don't get it. And at the very end, leave the body anyway, the death will take away everything. This is all corrupted virus, pervading everywhere within us. How to come out of it? We need a bigger dose, a very strong antiviral program here. That strong antiviral program, we have heard it again and again. And the last session also we have heard how Maitreya Muni was saying, Vidura, this ahammameti, how does this go away? Okay? Gunanuvadam harir murarihi. When we hear about Murari, then the antiviral software is being installed. As we are hearing, the antiviral software is being installed, and it's going to make its own thing. As we hear, Lord Krishna goes and sits in the heart, and then Dhunyoti Shamalan Krishna, Shalilashya Yadasharat. So all that virus is being driven away by this antiviral program of hearing about Murari, thinking about Murari, and doing for Murari, which is Bhakti Yoga. So this is a formidable viral virus in our software, we have a very effective antiviral thing, the Bhakti Yoga, that can do the antiviral program. We are already doing it. So the antiviral program is happening within us as we are doing the Bhakti Yoga. That's one thing for us to take. And after that, we have heard how the poor Kumaras came. Here, Brahma, he was dissatisfied in the beginning. In the very beginning itself, I ended up creating this ignorance. So he was dissatisfied, but still he went on with this service, didn't get discouraged. The 4 Kumaras came, they said, nope, we are not doing this business. That was a disrespect, disobedience. Still, Brahma was a little upset, but still he went on with the service. Rudra came out. He started destroying. This destroying business was not at all helping Brahmadeva. Still, he did not stop. He proceeded further. And then all this lust, anger, greed, they all came out. And this thing with walk has happened. And he was disturbed. He felt ashamed, but still he repented and went on with his service. All these beautiful things came out from Brahma. Yeah. And at the end, Swayambhu Manu and Shatarupa, they came out. And Swayambhu Manu, Brahma is very much pleased with Swayambhu Manu. And he says, that's 12, with that small chapters, no? 13 and 14. Brahma is pleased with Swayambhu Manu, and he says, yes, please. Now, can you please, before before what Brahma and Swayambhu Manu conversation, there is one beautiful sloka here. We don't want to miss this. Shrutasya pumsam suchirashramasya nanvanjasa suribhir idito artha tattat gunanushravanam mukunda padaravindam hrudayeshu yesham. This is what we're talking about. The very beginning of the katha. Remember, we're talking about how we want to hear from acharyas, the pure devotees. This is what Srimad Bhagavatam is saying. Vidura is saying to Maitreya, I really want to hear about Swayambhu Manu. Can you please tell me? And he goes, Shrutasya pumsam suchirashramasya. Shrutasya, hear. Pumsam, of people, please hear. Suchira, for a very long time. Shramasya, even though it is difficult for you to hear for such a long time, even though if you You don't have taste, but still hear. Nanva anjasa suribir idito artha. Who do you hear from? Who should you hear from? For such a long time, even though it is an austerity for you, even though you don't have a taste, you should hear for a very long time from who? Suribir, from pure devotees. Anjasa idito arda, who is elaboratively giving the information about the absolute truth. And why should you hear from them? From this Suribir? Tat tat gunanushravanam mukunda padaravindam hrudayeshu. Because in their hridaya, they are having Mukunda Padaravindam, the Padaravinda of Mukunda, lotus feet of Mukunda. And holding Mukunda Padaravindam in their hridayam, they are doing Gunanushravana. They are reciting the gunas of the Mukunda. That is why you should hear from the pure devotees for a long period of time, even though you do not have the taste, even though it is an austerity for you. This is the instruction from Srila Bhagavata. This is what happened when Srila Prabhupada came here to the Western world. Not everybody had the interest, but they continued to hear from the pure devotee Srila Prabhupada. And they have seen the transformation. The magic happens. This is the magic of hearing from pure devotees, because Bhagavatam is saying they hold Mukunda Padaravindam in their heart. Dear devotee, this is something that we want to do every day. Hear from the pure devotees. And it's going to have its effect for sure, sooner or later. A quick example I wanted to give is, there was somebody who took up the process of Bhakti Yoga, the Diksha also, practiced Bhakti for some time and had many challenges and had to leave the practice of Bhakti for 2 years. And then came back again. Narada Muni said that, right? Even though one leaves Bhakti temporarily because of the fragrance, the taste they had in Bhakti will pull them back. So like this devotee also came back. This devotee is still there. Like this, there are many stories though. So, though he practiced Bhakti for some time, because he went away for a few years, when he was hearing Srila Prabhupada speaking, it didn't appeal to him. It was not tasteful to him. And it was just some sound coming as a ritual. He was just hearing because his mother was insisting him to hear. That was the only reason he was hearing. He knows his mother is telling for his good. And his mother is insisting that he should hear Srila Prabhupada every day. So he heard for weeks and months, and something started happening to him. And after some time, he said to his mother, "Ma, now I know what you're saying." So everything that he has done in the past, all the bhakti that he had, everything was revived. All he did was just hear from Srila Prabhupada every day. So that is the potency of hearing from the pure devotees. Very potent, very potent. That I wanted to mention. After that, this is all information anyway. So that's fine. So Swayambhu Manu came, and Brahma is very much happy with Swayambhu Manu because he's ready to start his service of procreating. Then Brahma says, "Okay, Swayambhu Manu, please go ahead now. Please do your responsibility, your service." Then Manu says, "Okay, dear father, I'm ready to do that, but I don't see the earth here. Where is it?" And they look and see the earth was in Garbhodaka ocean, embedded there. So Brahma was contemplating how to bring this earth back in place. So Swayambhu Manu and Shatarupa, they can procreate and just populate the whole Brahma. As he was thinking like that, an entity came from his nostril, a small thumb-shaped. Nobody knew what that was. And here, the pastime is coming. Few minutes of this pastime, and the katha will come to end. So we want to hear this pastime nicely. So, this, as Brahma was thinking, a thumb-sized Varaha, appeared and came out. Brahma didn't know who that was. All he was doing is just contemplating, thinking of how to revive, how to get this earth back to the place. And then this thumb size being, very soon it grew into elephant size. And then by that time, it was quite evident this is not an ordinary thumb-sized creature. And by this time, as it is growing more and roaring, all the denizens in Janaloka, Tapoloka, Satyaloka, they knew this is none other than Hari, Lord Hari, in this Varaha Rupa. So they started glorifying Lord Hari. And Lord Hari roared loudly, acknowledging their glorification and prayers. Yeah. And then he grew so big. He flew in the sky. He slashed his tail. Now he has to go and rescue Mother Earth, right? It's down in Garbhodaka, in the ocean there. So he flew in the sky, he slashed his tail, and his hair was quivering. His eyes, his glance was very luminous. And he scattered all the clouds in the sky. And as he was about to dive deep in, as the ordinary hog smell, Lord Varaha, as transcendental as he is mimicking, and he was smelling just before he started diving deep into the ocean. And then he separated the ocean into two, separated the ocean as he was diving deeply and reached the limits of the ocean, and then retrieved Mother Earth and brought back. And when Mother Earth was brought back and was placed like this on the nose of Varaha, she was looking beautiful. Yeah. So while explaining this, Maitreya was explaining this to Vidura. He was explaining about the Varaha Deva. So this was Veda Varaha, who just dived deep into the Garbhodaka ocean and brought Mother Earth back to the her place. That is Veda Varaha. He ended up saying a little bit about Neela Varaha also, which belongs to different kalpa, where this Varaha pastime had to fight with Hiranyaksha in the process of bringing Earth back into its place. So, and that's when the rishis were asking, oh, this Neela Varaha, he fought with Hiranyaksha? How come? Hiranyaksha, we heard that he was so evil. What's wrong with him? Why did he end up being so evil? Then, as an answer to that, Maitreya Muni says, yeah, you know what happened? Diti and Kashyapa, they were the couple. And Diti really wanted to have a son, much more better one than Aditi, her sister. So she went to her husband. She went to her husband and asked for a son for procreation at a wrong time, in the evening time. And that was not right time because Lord Shiva, at that time, is in charge of Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva will be going around with the bhutas, prechas, bhuta, preta, pisachas. Not such a good time to procreate and give birth to a child. So Kashyapa says that. But Diti was so adamant. And they ended up procreating. And then Diti feels very bad after that. She repents. She says, oh, I should not have done that. What did I do? I feel very sorry. I feel very ashamed. I have neglected Lord Shiva, who is disrespected the demigods. I just did this in a very inauspicious time. I shouldn't have been so lusty and uncontrollable. So she repents again, same as Brahma. Brahmaji repented, Diti is also repented. And then Kashyap Muni says, okay, you are repenting so much. You have realized you have done mistake, repenting so much. I'll tell you two good news. One is, yes, those two sons that would be born out of your womb, they will be evil. They will be the cause of so much of torture in the universe, but they will be killed by Lord Hari. So that's one thing auspicious that can happen to your sons. And the other one is, your grandson is going to be a wonderful, great devotee. That's Prahlada, son of Hiranyakashipu. Since you are repenting so much, I just want to let you know about these two good things. So that's how he consoles his wife. So the last lesson here is, Diti is in a very responsible position, right? Wife of a Prajapati here. And Brahma was also in a responsible post, the secondary creator. Mistakes happening with them also. But they're repenting. They have repented and move on. That's one thing. Second thing is, if the mistakes happen with an ordinary person like Ajamila or somebody, then the effect is limited only to that person and the family. But if the mistakes happen with this people in this responsible post, then it can really have a big impact. Like in this case, the whole universe is having an impact because of what Diti has done. So for somebody who is in that responsible post, then austerity, they will have to endure to the austerity. So their mistakes cannot affect the bigger chunk, of the people around, or in this case, the whole universe. So those are the life lessons. But one thing is, though mistakes have happened, they have repented and they moved on with the services. That's all for us in this session of Srimad Bhagavata. So quickly going through, in the 11th chapter, we talked about how small we are and how big the Lord is, and how hard we were that we turned away, but how soft He is that He's still with us. Suhridam Sarvabhutanam, and wanting to be with us and wanting to bond with us, sitting in the heart, in the holy name. He sent us the Guru. He's giving us the Shastra. Because He gave the Bhagavata Shastra, because we are hearing from these Bhagavatas, that's how we are coming to know the facts. So He's giving us this information. He sent the Guru. He's sitting in the heart. He gave the Harinam, just waiting for us to bond with Him. That's our takeaway from the 11th chapter, apart from all the details of the times, the scales, and everything. And in the 12th chapter, we have seen how Brahma had so many obstacles in his creation, starting from the ignorance till the very end. But he moved on. He moved on with the service with determination. That was very wonderful. And we also learned about the lessons of how we should be cautious about the opposite gender. And the second thing is how we shouldn't be really disrespecting and put down anybody in public for whatever mistake they might be doing. We bring it to their attention in person, or we inform the authorities who can take control. In this case, they had to pray the Lord. Prayers are always, they always work. So that's something that we have learned. And in the very first thing, the 5 layers of ignorance, the totally corrupted software that is pervading within. But more powerful than this corrupted software is Gunanuvada Shravanam Murarihi, the Bhakti Yoga. Hear about Mukunda, think about Mukunda, do for Mukunda. That's Bhakti Yoga. That's the antiviral program that we install every day, all the time. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Because this corrupted virus is with us all the time. So we need the antiviral programming all the time, not a little bit here and there. Otherwise, this corrupted virus will take over. So our antiviral dose should be so much more than the corrupted programming. Yeah, so that we have heard. And this antiviral programming can go on very joyfully when we hear from the pure devotees. That's what we heard in the next chapter, right? Yeah, we have heard about that. Swayambhu Manu. And in this is the last chapter. We have heard from about Diti and Kashyapa and how Diti repented and then moved on. And so she had at least these 2 boons for repenting her mistake. Yeah, so we'll pause here. Thank you all so much. So that is our Bhag.